All right, grab your coffee, get jacked up. It's time for another episode of The Block Talk. It's me, Jamie Taylor, here in Little Rock, but I am welcoming an out-of-town visitor. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Please, to my listeners, welcome Mark Lane from Colorado with Omni Builders, jumping right in here to our Arkansas market.
Yes, we are. We love it.
Thank you for being here.
You bet. Thanks for the invitation.
Of course. So we met through a mutual friend of mine who I spent some time on the golf course with. I know you have a little bit of positive feelings towards golf.
I do.
Okay. So let's start with who you are, how you got here, and how the connection happened between you and I.
Sure. Well, I'm an old guy, as you can see, so I've had a long career. I've been very blessed in all of my dealings in business. Started out as a banker, got very involved in the real estate lending department of a certain bank. And I've been in banking for 20 years of my early career, but about 25 years ago, I left banking and went on my own, started my own companies. But they've always been highly focused on real estate and real estate finance. So always looking at houses, always looking at land. Some people joke and say, I think I see sawdust running in your blood veins, so that's exciting. But so a friend of mine, who actually is my partner, Jim Davis, had knowledge of the property, and we're speaking about Diamondhead Resort Community, just outside of Hot Springs. And Jim basically asked me if I had an interest in coming down and looking at the property with him, and we did that and got very excited to be involved in Arkansas, number one. If you'd asked me 3 years ago if I ever would be doing anything in Arkansas, I would have laughed, obviously. But today, I've learned a lot about the state. I've learned a lot about the local area. And just a little over 1 year ago, we purchased Diamondhead Resort Communities, which is a 2,300-acre subdivision. About 700 homes exist in there currently. And we have about 1,650 more lots that we intend to follow a master plan that we've put together and work with local builders, i.e., that's why we're sitting here today with Jamie. And so we're excited about marketing the community and building the product that the community needs. That is a wide spectrum of product, and we can discuss that if you'd like.
Yes, and that's the whole reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast, because we have this relationship going outside of the podcast in my other realm where I am a realtor. I do own a brokerage here locally, and I've been operating that here for a minute. But what has been really exciting with the podcast is I've had the opportunity to meet with local business owners and entrepreneurs to add value to the block of time, which is sort of the mission of the podcast. We want our residents of Little Rock, Arkansas, also Hot Springs, Conway, Benton Bryant. You'll notice there's a lot of different small suburbs and communities outside of the greater city of Little Rock.
Yes.
And our plan here is to add value to that. How else do you add value to a community? By producing properties that fit the price range and the need for the community so that they're able to buy houses, own homes. If something goes wrong, they can borrow against that because they have equity, they made a good purchase. That's exactly what my mission is in real estate. So to have met you and have the opportunity to combine my two worlds here on the podcast is kind of like a dream come true. So thank you for being here.
It is for us too, Jamie. And one of the things we hear when we're in the community, around the community, is that either widows or widowers say they love Diamondhead. They've lived there 20, 30 years or more in some cases, and they don't want to leave Diamondhead, but they don't want to continue to own their larger home with quarter-acre lots. It's a very beautiful treed community that is bordered by Lake Catherine on one side, and then it's bordered or backs up to Lake Catherine State Park. So it's basically a dreamland. I call it minutes away and worlds apart.
Perfect.
And that's how it is. It takes 10 to 12 minutes really to drive to Hot Springs. And amenities are creeping toward us as we speak. I think Love's truck stops are now 9 miles away. And we have a little convenience center. We're working on a town center, which will have and bring in many amenities that you would like right in your neighborhood.
Right, and that's part of this development when we sat down and talked about all the different spectrum. You talked about spectrum. Now, you're from a much larger community coming
Yes.
from Colorado
Yes.
to Arkansas, so we only have about 3 million people here in Arkansas. You probably have 3 million there in Denver.
Yes, yeah,
So-
that's a good illustration of the difference in size, and that difference in size then obviously translates to difference in price.
Right.
And so, for example, a home that we're working on right now that's in frame stage, we have sold for $322,500. That home would easily be worth $650,000 to $700,000 in any location in Denver, Colorado. The land costs in Front Range, Colorado, from Pueblo all the way up to Fort Collins, Longmont, Boulder, the lot prices are just really, really high.
Yeah.
There's some areas where you can't buy a lot for $300,000, and we're selling a 2,200 square foot high quality home in this community for that price. So one of our missions as we came here, and one of our goals was to bring luxury housing, but keep it affordable. And so Jim Davis, my partner, and I have both been in the manufactured housing arena. We've owned hundreds of homes in that arena. And so we have a heart for affordable housing. I've said this in the business, when somebody lives in a mobile home or a manufactured home, when they wake up in the morning and their feet go on the floor, their home is just as important to them as somebody who lives in $1 million home. So we have a heart for people being able to afford homes. We also are excited about technology and how folks can work in work in Little Rock and live in Diamondhead. And a lot of them tell me that their employers allow them to telecommute, meaning work from home 2 or 3 days a week. So technology's changing things. It's absolutely a dream community, right down to the gated, guarded security. And I consider it, I'm a little older, so I consider it the town of Mayberry. It's very, very similar to Andy Griffith and Barney Fife. No condescension to the sheriff there. He's very capable. But it's a throwback to a slower, easier time. And I think that's very attractive to a lot of people. We have stories from teachers moving from Little Rock to our community because of education. They wanted their children to be in highly considered school districts, and Garland County and Hot Springs County have really good schools. So a lot of amenities, and it's just a joy to think of all the things that we can do in that community over the next 10 to 15 years.
Well, and it's exciting for me because you basically are doing a lot of my job for me by highlighting all of these wonderful things about the community. And what really piqued my interest about it was the culmination of the fact that not only do you have this background and heart for the affordable housing, but we have the income and jobs to support that here in Arkansas, with respect to the fact that most of our jobs and our income is at a level that needs to have affordable housing. Yes. We can't be in a situation where every single house on the market is over $300,000. Now, we can have several of them be over $300,000, but we don't have $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 houses coming out of the ground every single day all around us. Now, what Diamondhead has the unique ability to do here is cover everything from commercial to multifamily to the manufactured housing that you talked about, and that high-end lakefront, all of that. So with respect to building communities and your experience as a builder, what would you say is the most integral factor as far as housing goes? Is it that middle of the road, 3-bed, 2-bath family home, or is it the apartment complex that starts to lend to the subdivision? Where do you start?
I think that's a great question, and what I like to do is refer to the process that I call land planning, and it is fabulous science involved in it. So I think it's the culmination of all of the things you talked about to have a master plan community that has starter homes or second homes or third homes, weekend homes, vacation homes, and that spectrum needs to cover square footage from around 1,400 square feet, high quality, up to the 3,000 square foot and higher homes. In Diamondhead today, there's existing homes, as I said, about 700 of them. There's $1 million homes in Diamondhead Resort, all the way down to the low hundreds. We intend to build that same product on a new basis and bring quality but affordability to that community. And so our intent is not to change things drastically, but to build new homes which have not been built there in a long period of time.
Right. I like the idea of capitalizing on your strengths and shoving away your weaknesses, because I think just like in life, in real estate, if you'll capitalize on those things, they will grow and the other ones will sort of fade away. And so I think what's exciting about this is when you bring new construction into a community like that, the other residents that live there are going to get excited about the fact that maybe they can get that value added to their house, because now all of a sudden you've got new construction, your prices are rising per foot, you have the ability to renovate and maybe remodel your home to match some of those new qualities. And then all of a sudden you have a bunch of equity in your home you didn't expect to have thanks to these new guys from Colorado. So,
Jamie, that's a great point, and I laugh a little bit because when I first got to Diamondhead Resort Community, and Jim Davis and I, as partners, assessed what we thought we could do with the lots, we came up with a asking price on our standard lots of $25,000. So for all buyers and all builders out there, this is a fabulous community, and obviously Jamie can speak to the opportunity as it relates to other projects. But we were really told by a number of people that, we would never get $25,000 for lots in Diamondhead. I think, don't quote me, but I think in 4 days I had a contract for $30,000, another one for $45,000, and another one for $25,000. Today we've got 3 builders in the community within 12 months, which is exciting, but we want you to bring a lot more.
Without any marketing, that's pretty impressive. I mean, this is really just you going out and saying, hey, would you like to build in this community? I'm not even from here.
Yes.
What's exciting about that is you're into a kind of a community, like you mentioned, it's a niche community.
Yes,
people that have known each other for years and years. So just the fact that you could come in there and do that on your own shows everybody that this community is ready for it.
This community is ripe, as I would say. Again, part of my career was in banking, and I was the head of real estate lending for a $500 million institution. So we had to be aware of the key master plan communities in and around our area, which when I was lending was Front Range, Colorado. So we were familiar with all of the master planned communities, and I've done a lot of research in this area. We feel our lot prices at $25,000 are basically half of what the next competitor would have. So not that those prices will stay forever, but
if I have anything to do with it, they won't be able to.
for the next 12 to 24 months, it is a very exciting time for you to be able to introduce Diamondhead to your real estate connections. And we're very excited about that. We're very excited about working with you and your company. And,
we're excited about Omni and Bluebird making this partnership and being able, not only with Omni, but Mahaffey and some of these other companies that are coming out to build.
Yes.
We just cannot get enough. We're so excited. So we're going down this weekend. We're going to get some footage of some of the areas that we want to put on video. And so speaking to that, I want to talk about the golf course, because you're a golf guy, you're a U.S. Open shirt. I mean, come on. You are. Every time I see you, you're in a different tournament garb. So.
Well, I'm not really the golf guy. I'm about a 16 handicap golfer, but my oldest son...
watching counts.
Watching count. He played all the way through college, and he is a fantastic golfer. His little brother is a tremendous golfer, so anybody that points success to me on golf, I always point it to my boys. So, but I love the game, and the golf course at Diamondhead is obviously a diamond in the rough. It is a golf course that has existed for a long period of time. We are looking to make some pretty serious improvements to the golf course over time. The Property Owners Association wants to see that happen, so we're very excited about that as well, and would love to have folks come out and play around the golf. Contact us. We'll get you on the golf course. Jamie will be wanting to show you lots and houses.
I'll be out there with little signs at the edge of the green going like, your home could be here.
Yes.
But that's the funny thing I was telling the women I ran into in the restaurant down there the other day. I was saying, Diamondhead's a girl's best friend. It'll get your husband out of the house for hours. So you can just get him on the golf course. We can take care of you elsewhere in the community.
Yes, and ladies buy homes. It is the wife
We're in charge
who typically makes that buying decision. So we're very sensitive to wives and single moms, whatever.
Yep.
How you feel about your home and your community is very important to us. We are not the old stodgy old guys that don't think about what our women want.
Yeah, you can always tell when you're dealing with a married man because you know who the boss is.
My boss is about 5 foot tall, and she is the better half of my partnership by far.
Well, and I'm thankful to her for allowing you to explore these real estate avenues, because what's so exciting about the golf element is that golf is something that nationwide statistically is one of the most popular sports, especially for our young men that are going from high school to college. They are getting excited about playing competitive golf.
Yes.
It's something that we can travel all over the United States to play. Arkansas has so many beautiful golf courses.
It does.
So having Diamondhead right there, and like you said, diamond in the rough, I thought that's what they called my ball whenever I hit it off the tee box. But the exciting part about the golf is that we can have tournaments there.
Yes.
We're in a situation where you can go out to the course, you can bring your clubs, you can sign up with a team, you can even as a business sponsor a hole for $100.
Yes.
It's an incredible opportunity.
It's a tremendous opportunity. And actually, Paul Hilliard, our pro, is how I met you. And so shout out to Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
He's an awesome golf pro, runs the course very well. And call him at Diamondhead Golf Club, and he'll get you on the course, get you in the tournament if you're still interested in that. They have Monday afternoon scrambles. I've participated in those. They start around 4 p.m., and they're delightful. Great way to socialize with your community and neighbors. And we've met hundreds, literally, of neighbors by just playing in that little Monday afternoon scramble. So it's one of those, as I said, it's a diamond in the rough, minutes away, worlds apart. You will love Diamondhead. I guarantee you that if you come visit, you'll want to stay some way, either as a full-time homeowner or weekend or second home. We're very excited about all aspects. Back to the product for a minute. We have certain parcels within Diamondhead that we intend to do some real significant improvements to, areas that are just fully wooded today, undeveloped, that we own. And some of those are lakefront, but they're cliff hanging type of property. So the views are world class. And we will be working with you and your team to determine what we want to market there, but we do have some very significant things in mind, so stay tuned on that.
Yeah, and what's really exciting is, and that's why I think this partnership is so beautiful, is my background in real estate does really lend itself to the fact that feasibility is always first.
Yes.
Now, location, location, location. You can't duplicate Diamondhead, and that's what I love about it. There's not another community in Arkansas or in the United States that you're going to find this price, not just for the land, but the price per foot that you're getting when you're building. You're not going to find that with a water view, on a golf course, with a wooded backyard, minutes from gaming, minutes from the hot springs, the actual hot springs.
Yes.
You're not going to find that in the natural state. You're not going to find it unless you go to Diamondhead.
That's
so
correct.
all roads are going to lead you there. Even Highway 171 is going to lead you right there.
Right there.
So the biggest thing is, in addition to creating just these land lots, what we have is homes actually already coming out of the ground.
Yes, we do.
As you mentioned with those builders, and I went and walked through them, there are builders from out of state. So those of you who are interested in West Coast builds, there's West Coast builders here.
Yes.
There are Arkansas builders who are new to our market. There are Arkansas builders who are not new to our market.
Right.
Some of the interested folks involved builders who have also built in Hurricane Lake. We've got some interest from people who have duplicated subdivisions all over the state. And so it's interesting, the level of building you're going to have here is going to be wide, and it's I guess I want to say a mile wide.
Yes.
You're going to be able to drive through Diamondhead and decide, where do you want to live? How much do you want to spend? What's the right place for you and your family? We will build it.
Yes.
Right?
And that is true. We will build a home for you. We do have design builders in the community. Tony Mahaffey is one of the people we brought from out of state. Tony built my personal home in Colorado in the Broadmoor Resort Community, which is a very nice location. Excellent builder, great reputation, personal friend, obviously. But we like to become friends with people that we work with. Our vendors become family. We hope we can become family to them. We are very excited about the opportunities that we see in the various product types. So you mentioned earlier multifamily or condos. high-rise condos would fit on a number of spots that we have. And I'm not talking about your go to Mexico or South America type of condominium. I'm talking about a world-class 8 to 10 story building that every unit would have a view of Lake Catherine, infinity pools, hot tubs, all the way down the side of the hill to your boat dock and slip. So we have some real world-class product ideas, and the feasibility that we did prior to coming here and meeting you, Jamie, is based on my background in banking and appraisal practices. So we looked primarily at the southeast part of the United States, and what we found was that with this type of community, all of them have a little bit different flair. Some have pickleball, some have tennis courts, some have both. But you always have a nice swimming pool. You always have golf. Ours is gated and guarded, which is very significant. Mm-hmm. But the opportunity here is to live minutes away and worlds apart and get a very luxurious home that's affordable mm-hmm. beyond anything I've seen in and around the area. And so we're excited to bring in local builders and get them aware of the lot prices. For the next year or two, they're going to be very low compared to the whole southeast part of the country for this type of community. I think we're today at least half the price of most resort communities currently. And again, we want to get as many builders in there as we can and get them excited and get them making a lot of money and building some wonderful homes for people.
Well, these Arkansas boys love the lake.
Yes,
so that's how you get them. And you want to get these Arkansas builders. What we got to do is get them on that golf course and get them on the lake. So
we'll do that. You bring them and we'll get them out there.
I got it. So you Arkansas boys heard me right. You can come out and visit us on the golf course and the lake, and we can start talking about where you want to build. But with that being said, now let's talk about the lake. Let's talk about what experiences you've had so far with the lake and being in Hot Springs, the nightlife downtown. Tell me what you feel like if you were, because you are living here now, you're back and forth all the time, and so you're staying and you're able to experience all of these things.
Yes, I'm here 2.5 weeks out of every month currently, and that's going to increase as we continue to increase our involvement in the community. Well, addressing Old Town Hot Springs, I love the vibe down there. I love the Ohio Club. We know the owner of the Arlington Hotel. We're friends with him. Very happy for him that he was able to acquire this gem of a property. He's a big hotel motel expert, very close friends with a great friend of ours. And so we're excited for him. He's actually indicated to us that he might have some interest in working with us to do a little Arlington out in our area.
That would be so fun.
All kinds of dreams, all kinds of vision that we see, and all the local people that we've worked with have great thoughts and great ideas. And again, I think a point we need to make is that we're not a out-of-state developer coming to Arkansas to try to bring our ways to this beautiful state. We are humble in the process of saying we want to work with local people. We want local ideas, and we love collaboration. Mm-hmm. We're very big on that, and so in our mind, it's a team. So the team that we are building around us is critical to us. As I said, that will become family. So we're not your typical developer. I know a lot of folks have a bad perception of developers, but we're really hometown kind of folks who want to be a part of the community, not just come in for 5 years, make a lot of money, and leave. We intend to live here and be here for years and years and years. My wife just called me yesterday and was traveling home from Sanibel Island in Florida and said, I love humidity. And I said, well, honey, just come on down.
Well, if she loves humidity, you're in the right place. Good job.
Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And golf course will be exciting in the future. Product will be exciting in the future. And again, anybody that comes through you to us, we want to hear their ideas. We have builders that can build you a custom home or a semi-custom home, very capable of doing their own design work. And we're excited about getting the right number of builders in there. And I'm not sure what that number is, so we're going to lean heavily on you to help us with that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely, and that's the thing that's exciting about it, and talking with builders in the community and with the background that I've got and connections recently, that's sort of what brought you and I together, is the idea that we're going to build this based on what the community wants. Like you said, you're not an out-of-state developer coming here to make money. No. You're an out-of-state developer who saw this incredible opportunity.
Yes.
You have deep friendship with the person that invested this idea in you anyways.
Right.
And then you came here and fell in love with the scenery and fell in love with this opportunity, and have since systematically been sort of one at a time doing this by yourself. And so having met you and then meeting Jim and meeting the people down there, I've sort of realized that you've kind of gone it alone, and similar to what you mentioned before we started recording, you've sort of created a little railroad of your own to introduce Diamondhead and all of its potential to the community. And now you've stumbled upon someone with a really big mouth and a massive sphere of influence. And that's my whole goal, is I want to add value to the community by showing and exposing what's there, because this is something other places in the country don't have.
Yes, that's so true. I know in every town, USA, when you drive a little bit out of town, you make the comment, I didn't realize this was here. That's the request I have, is come out and see what we have before you make a buying decision, before you invest a lot of your hard-earned money. Come see what we have, or little, yes. If you're interested in buying a lot and holding the lot for a few years until you're ready to build, that option exists as well. Like I said, we're very flexible. We want to work with everybody who has that same dream of what Diamondhead is for them, and it is many things to many people. We have a broad spectrum of age, young kids. It's exciting. We see the young kids driving golf carts, and so the sheriff there has allowed kids to, as long as they're behaving properly, drive golf carts under the age of driving cars. So one of those things that you don't see in most communities. Again, the pool, the tennis courts, the basketball courts, just full of activity. A tremendous group that gathers almost every Wednesday night and have for 20, 30 years, and just kind of barbecue together. That's outside, and then there's the 19th hole at the golf course, which is just delightful. Yeah,
tell me a little bit more about the 19th hole, because I know that there's some new food coming in there, and some people who are just really, Shaylee is really excited about what they're doing down there. So tell me a little bit about Shaylee and their gig.
Shaylee is married to Tony, and Tony and Shaylee are the new managers of the 19th hole. Shaylee's background is she is a mixologist. She has that education. And Tony is a gourmet chef. He can do burgers and fries with the best of them. But just in the last week down here, I've had yellowfin tuna on quinoa with a bed of asparagus, and then other salmon dishes. So I would say they're bringing in more healthy food, which is a great thing. But you can still get your cheeseburger, and
it's a good cheeseburger too.
Oh,
no, I typically opt for the healthy food, but you've eaten with me enough times to know that I can put it down, and I love a good cheeseburger.
Yeah,
so,
it's a delightful place. It can be a Friday night sing along, and regular events are scheduled there, from folks who like to play bingo to cards to shuffleboard. You can't go a day really without having an opportunity for activities at the 19th hole or on the golf course or tennis courts, etc. So many people volunteer to beautify the gardens and the flower beds. It's extraordinary, really. I think that's a word that gets used a lot, but it really is extraordinary. It's delightful when you drive up to the gate. Obviously, it's an older community, so there's some things we'd like to do to dress it up. But those are things the community wants to do, and we will help in that process over time.
Yeah, I think it helps that all of the community is centered around golf and the outdoors and water and resorts, and that's kind of your wheelhouse and something that you enjoy, and where you live in Colorado is similar to what you're doing here. And so I think it's important for our listeners as well to understand that Little Rock is in a pre-boom position similar to Hot Springs, where all of a sudden the nation's eyes are on us. Yes. And we see these articles coming out in nationwide publications. Oh, Little Rock's this hidden gem, and it's diamond in the it's actually been here for a while. Everything we're at that position now where everyone can see it.
We were excited as we made the buying decision a little over a year ago. Priceline.com came out with an article, which I was just feeling so smart about the decision we had made to purchase. But Hot Springs was the number one clicked on destination point in the entire United States in the year of 2017. I'm a developer again, so I look at cone zones. And so when I first got here, I drove through cone zones for widening of the highway.
Everywhere.
And you need to understand that counties and governments understand growth and they study it. And when you see cone zones, it means something is coming. Well, little did any of us know that gambling and the hotel casino would be announced. That happened after the fact, so we don't claim any intelligence for
Typically,
for
you
that.
don't find gambling in what's known as the Bible Belt nationwide.
right.
So that's one of
That's
the things
right.
that kind of took everyone by surprise was like, wait a second, this is the place that, certain things are not even open on Sunday. You can have the sale of
Yes.
alcohol on Sunday, but now all of a sudden you can gamble.
Yes, so that alone brings jobs, and developers and builders alike look at job creation. So my understanding, the hotel casino has added temporary job, meaning construction workers, of about 450 people for a 2-year period of time.
Right.
And that construction is going very quickly at Oaklawn. The projected permanent employment is over 500. So that's very exciting. But then there's announcement after announcement, Marriott taking over Clarion facilities. Memphis City in the northern part of the state, where there's another hotel casino, and I've heard that it's about $100 million as well. So this to me is just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to happen in Arkansas. So we have a concept of looking at the top 25 tier cities and say drive 25 miles or 30 miles in any direction and buy land in that location, because
Don't give away all our secrets, Mark.
that's our theory today, is that with technology, the only place you'll be able to afford housing, average people like myself want to be able to live in a beautiful place. Many people in my group, the baby boomers, have not saved enough money to fulfill the dream that they had 30 years ago. This is a place, no matter where you live, that you can come and fulfill that dream.
Right.
And you might say, well, I live in Wisconsin or I live in Colorado. Let me promise you that the winter time here is just delightful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. If I step outside today, I'll be wringing wet fairly quickly because of the humidity. But while others here, locals, tell me, oh, I'm chilly and I need a sweater during the winter, I'm still in shorts and flip-flops. So
Yeah, well.
it's delightful here year-round.
We have all 4 seasons.
Yes, you do.
And that's something, one thing, if you've never been out to Lake Catherine or never been out to Diamondhead and you've never seen it in the fall, it's a whole nother thing when the leaves turn orange and they're reflecting on the lake, and everybody, you just can't get enough of that. And
shout out to a location that people should see while they're there. Garvin Gardens is delightful. They have a wedding chapel that is second to none. I come from Colorado, where the Air Force Academy is, full of wedding ceremonies in June and July and August, right after the cadets graduate. That is a beautiful chapel, but the one at Garvin Gardens is second to none.
Right.
My wife and I walked through there a few days and just enjoyed ourselves. The University of Arkansas took that on, and it's delightful. There's so many things to do. Downtown again, Arlington, Ohio Club. I've had pizza at Augustino's, and just delightful. And all of the spa locations are wonderful too.
yeah, it's incredible. And it's really a good place to relax and have fun with your family.
Yes,
We've done everything. My family, we go down and we do Oaklawn. We love it. We have a boat. We go and we wakeboard. We drive around. We don't fish because we're terrible at that, but we do have fun. We enjoy it. We live our life when we're down there in Hot Springs. We aren't thinking about anything else but having a good time when we're there. And it's so great, like you said, to just drive a few minutes and be able to be home and still have access to all of those things.
My first opportunity to be on Lake Washita was a few weeks ago, and Bill Hope, who is our consulting engineer, a wonderful friend and family at this point. So I've been on Lake Washita, I've been on Lake Hamilton, I've been on Lake Catherine. There are many, many more lakes, as everyone knows, here. But if you like a big lake and you want to live in Diamondhead, you can troll around on Lake Catherine all you would like. You can fish, you can enjoy it. I see people skiing on it. But if you want a real big lake experience, obviously Lake Hamilton's great, and Lake Washita, second to none in the country.
It's just amazing because we have so many different things, like you said, that are just not exposed on a nationwide level, and you're here seeing them, so you're in the face of it. So I want to express to our listeners as well, because we do have a nationwide following. One interesting piece, when I first started this podcast, I was really listening heavy to the bigger pockets guys, because they're in real estate too. And having spent 11 years of my career learning real estate appraisal before I ever switched over into the broker's piece, I really understand how fundamental it is that we do proper real estate in order to build communities that people want to live in, but not just for 5 minutes. They want to live in them, and they want to stay in them, and they want to build there to the point that they're parents come and move over there to be closer to those grandkids. And so that being said, I spoke with someone actually out of your market. His name's Anson Young. He was a guest on Little Rock, or on Big Pockets as well. And he was somebody that expressed to me, as we were talking through the rise of prices in Colorado, I said, Arkansas is this whole nother thing. We've got some developers coming out of Colorado that are going to help me kind of build this community. What are your thoughts on that? And he said, I hadn't thought about Arkansas. And he starts looking at the computer while we're talking. I think about 15 minutes in, he said, actually, I might be interested in investing in Arkansas.
Well, it is one of those things we say, let's be quiet. But at that same time, as I look back on my career, you can't keep a good thing secret for very long. So we're very aware that growth is happening. You can see it. I speak with locals, and they just see how it's beginning to happen.
Feel it.
And they say they can feel it. And I can observe it because I used to buy and sell loans all over the country. So it is, as I say, one of the most extraordinary opportunities that I've seen. For me, I'll tell you, it's the number one opportunity that I've had in my lifetime, and I've had some good ones.
Yeah, well, and this is exciting for me because, like I said, this is an incredible opportunity for our state. It's an incredible opportunity for you and your organization, me and mine. And so this episode is dedicated specifically to the announcement of the development of Diamondhead Resort Community here in Arkansas. So if you are in state, out of state, local, not local, if you have any interest in real estate, you want to invest in a project that's going to be incredibly beneficial to the community and also to you, please give us a call, reach out to us. I'm going to post this episode along with links to the websites that will take you directly to information about these communities. We will help you find your way into Diamondhead and figure out which terrain is the perfect one to drop your house on. So
that's great. Jamie, thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We're so excited. I will see you this weekend on the golf course.
See you then.
Thank you, Mark. Block Talk, we're out.